Hello, Patricia Panassi here with your Lunar Magic forecast of November. November is really a month where we are slowly turning more and more inwards, and the winter is starting to be embraced more and more. In most parts of the world, daylight savings has ended, so in the evening it's darker a little bit early, so really feel the pull to go inwards. And if you feel that, it's totally normal, totally give in to that. This month we have a few planets that are changing signs. We have planets coming out of retrograde. Overall, it's a really interesting month to look forward to. We begin with November 11th. That's when Mercury is actually going to be visible during the day. For approximately 5 hours, Mercury will move in front of the Sun. But because Mercury is such a small planet, we hardly will see it. It's like a small little dot we will see on the Sun. And it's interesting significance because Mercury at this time is still in retrograde in Scorpio, which is really about sort of disrupting all of the communication in a very deep and watery way, because Scorpio is really about deep transformation, and when it's in a retrograde, it's turning inward. So it's really about your own inner transformation and your own inner conflicts that are going to be highlighted, especially because we're going to see it during the day. It's even more excited to really allow yourself to go into that and not just ignore what is going on. The next day, on November 12th, we have the full moon in Taurus at 90 degrees, and Taurus is a sign that really likes to spend time in nature. So take this full moon time to really go outside and wind down. It's really time to unwind and to look at what you did in the past few months. And the reason why this is so important to do it now is because when we have the new moon coming up in Sagittarius later in the month, it is really important that you have made a clean slate. And you cannot invite new things into your life if you haven't dealt with the old. Because Mercury is in retrograde and we have this full moon, it's a beautiful time to really let go of the things that are no longer serving you. And with Taurus, it's a really beautiful time to look at what you value. So what is it that you value? What are the things that you have in your life that are not in accordance with your values? So take the time to really let those things go, to open yourself up to new things that are in accordance with your values, that you really stand behind. And that might be people, that might be events, that might be stuff in your house. Like, what is it that you can let go of? So when the new moon rolls around in Sagittarius, you have the ability to invite more of what you want into your life because you have made a clear path of the stuff that no longer really serves you. Because there is this connection that the full moon makes with Pluto, there's also this magical transformation that can occur. Because the moon is in Taurus, the sun is in Scorpio, there is this sense of deeper transformation. Pluto loves transformation. So allow yourself to go through that process. And it doesn't mean that it'd be like one day you decide this and the next day it already happens. It's a process that you can set in motion, or that you continue if you already have set it in motion. On 18th of November, Mars is going to enter Scorpio. So it was in Libra, which was much more balanced, which much more about finding equal ground. When it moves into Scorpio, it has a tendency to turn towards passive aggressiveness. Because Mars is about power, Scorpio is as well. If Mars is in Scorpio, it's really mindful to use that power that you feel without trying to turn it into a power struggle. So if you feel like you find yourself in this power struggle kind of way, stop yourself and be able to distance yourself a little bit to be able to see the situation from a slightly different perspective. On November 20th, Mercury will go direct. We will still feel the retrograde continuing on a little bit. We still feel that things will start to shift and turn more into a forward motion, but we still have this slum that we need to get out of first. Now, Mercury will stay in Scorpio until December 9th. So your communication and the way that you express yourself will still be in a very deep way. There's a little depth in it, But again, like I said with Mars, be very mindful that it's not about this power struggle that is going on. And really be able to speak from a place of contentment and a place of love instead of from a place of blame, of victimhood, which is something that Scorpio can turn into if you're not mindful of it. 2 days later, on November 22nd, the sun will enter Sagittarius. So we had this intense period of Scorpio where it was about depth and transformation, shadow work. When we move into Sagittarius, it's much more upbeat, it's positive, it's joyful. And like I mentioned during the full moon, it is very important to release the things that no longer work for you, so that when you enter this positive era, this positive season, is that you don't overlook the painful, because we do need to address the painful stuff first in order for us to truly be positive and have a greater outlook in life. So it is really important to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, and then when the sun starts to move into Sagittarius, that you have a more positive outlook, and that you can, with truly your whole heart, feel the abundance and feel the positivity and joy, because there cannot be joy if we skip over the hard parts. We cannot go straight to joy because we do still need to deal with what we are feeling, the traumas that come up, the things that we deal with. So it's not something we can skip over. So make sure that you also take the time to work through your traumas. Now on the 26th of November, we have the new moon at 4 degrees Sagittarius, and it's making a trine with Chiron in Aries. And it's a really good time to plant seeds, to look at new beginnings, long-term travel, philosophy, things in that field. It's really about positivity, but it's interesting because of this trine that it makes with Chiron, come back to our wounds again, that in order for you to be able to manifest the things that you truly want, you also need to look at your wounds. And because this is a positive aspect, it's a really good time for you to see where do you have traumas or pain which you haven't really addressed yet. And because of Sagittarius is a positive sign, where can you look for help? Because you can't always deal with everything by yourself. There are experts who can help you working through childhood traumas or working through relationship issues, what it is that you're dealing with, what has left a wound inside of you. And it's not something that you think about every day, but it is something that is influencing you on a daily basis. So make sure that you reach out for help, because getting help is a total sign of strength, because that means that you realize that you cannot do this on your own and you don't have to. So for this new moon, the new moon in Sagittarius, if you feel like there are areas in your life that you do need help with, especially when it comes to deep wounds, childhood wounds, some traumas, reach out to help, because it's a beautiful way to start manifesting those people or those healings into your life. On November 27th, Neptune will go direct. Now, Neptune has been in retrograde since June, and opposed to Mercury, which is a fast-moving planet, so it moves in and out of retrograde much faster, about 3 times a year. Neptune takes a longer time. From June till November, it has been in retrograde. So when it comes out of retrograde, obviously, we're not going to immediately feel the change like we do with Mercury, but it is slowly going to shift. So you will be able to get your ideas and visions out into the world much easier. Especially when it comes closer to the end of the year, it will be much easier for you to put out your big dreams, your intentions that you set for next year. It's really a time to dream big, and that's like the theme of November, to really start to dream big. Look at the bigger picture. How can you put all of your ideas and notions into work that really works for you for the next year? Now, if you want this whole overview and even more dates on a clear PDF file, you can click the link below and you can download the file for free, and make sure that you sign up, that you don't miss any of the future Lunar Magic updates. You can plan your month ahead and you can create the strategy that really works for your business.